Hello. Welcome to the show. I don't know if it has officially gone live yet. I'm going to be testing a few things. Let me just see. Okay, yes, I just got the notification. It has officially gone live. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of Late Night with Love Ghost. It's going to be a great show for you guys today, bringing on a special guest. I'm going to be covering many different things that are going on in the Love Ghost world, things that have happened in the past with Love Ghost, things that are going on in the music industry. Today is actually Warp Tour. After the show today, I'm going to be going to Warp Tour. I'm going to be seeing some awesome bands. I was there last year performing with Whiplash, and it was so much fun. It was such a great experience. But first of all, I would like to highlight the Phantoms. I would like to ask the Phantoms how they are doing. What's up with the chat? We have Carol Harris, Maria Vanessa, Lisa Whitfield, and many others. So I would like to say, hey, how are you guys doing today? How's it going? How has your week been? It's been an interesting week over here for me. I was quite busy with several things, especially in terms of Love Ghost. I've been coming here every night to work on this new acoustic album that I'm currently writing. Been engineering it here, doing my vocals, doing my guitar parts. You guys, you know what's up. You know what the deal is. And just yesterday, I actually was making some content for the next drop that is coming out with the next Love Ghost song that's coming out. Well, first of all, I got to ask, how are you guys liking God Complex? I think that the visual is really cool. I think it's great. You know, it's even like honestly making that song God Complex was an interesting day to say the least. So that was a session that came about in Mexico in our recent tour there. And it's a collaboration with Dimelo Pro. Our second collaboration, our first collaboration with the first Love Ghost X Dimelo Pro collaboration was No Debia. No Debia, I rapped entirely in Spanish. This song, half of my rapping section is in Spanish. And I just remember going to that session and actually my manager, her name is Missette. Everyone say hello, Missette. I'm sure she'll watch the replay of this. And Missette had never gotten on a song before, but I actually wanted to like stage an argument during the song. So the voice that's the cockroach in that song, that's the video, is my manager in Mexico. It is Missette. So that is super cool that she hopped on the song. I mean, the song kind of got inspired by just like a kind of like a weird little event that happened to me at a nightclub. I just saw like this dude that I used to know, that I went to that I went to high school with, and I hadn't seen him in like 6 or 7 years. And honestly, like my last memory of him was something completely different than, I guess, like what he had, what he turned into now. It was basically, essentially, I see this guy getting thrown out by security, right? He's getting like kicked out by security. He's kind of like, he's like a heavy set dude. Security is like kind of arm handling him. And then I look at him closer and I'm like, holy cow, like I know that guy. So I went to go talk to him, and he was pretty hostile. He was pretty drunk when I was talking to him. Clearly things had not been working out in his life, and he was hostile to me. I mean, honestly, I don't really care about that stuff, so I just didn't engage. But I was with my homie, and he's the type of guy that does engage with that type of stuff. So he really he got quite upset. He got quite angry, and he just they sort of just started, arguing, and it is what it is. But I just wanted to kind of, like write a song about I just, that stuff kind of seeps its way into my lyrics sometimes. Just, like silly interactions like that, little interactions like that. But enough about God Complex. I would like to talk about the next Love Ghost song that's coming out. That's a song called Dark City. And originally Dark City was a beat that I had produced last year, and I'd been sitting on it for a year. And this song is a collaboration with a band in Texas called Notions. They're a great band. You should definitely check them out if you haven't. They're called Notions. And we met on the internet, as a lot of the Love Ghost collaborations do. We met on the internet, and I said, "Hey, man, love your music, love your guys' stuff. I would love to make a collab with you guys." So I sent him some beats that I had produced, some songs that I had produced with opens, and this song in particular really, I think, tells a story, a somewhat fictitious story of like a demon or a voice in someone's head that's convincing them to be a serial killer. And it's kind of like the story of this, underworld kind of dark crime story. It's a bit like comic book-esque in a way, you could say, but that's basically essentially what it's about. It's about a demon that convinces a man to be a serial killer and abandon his morality. It's a dark story, but it's an interesting story to say the least. It's called, and I do multiple voices in the song. It's a little bit like, God Complex, how there is multiple voices and different things, but this song just has more of that. It's quite theatrical in nature. But yeah, it's called Dark City. It comes out next month in August. Shooting the music video for it on Monday. I'm going to play both roles, both the demon and the man that's being convinced to become a serial killer. And yeah, it's going to be super cool. It's going to be super great. And then also, I don't know if you guys had noticed, but we just announced Mexico shows. So yeah, we're playing about 5 to 7 different shows in Mexico. We're going to Mexico City, Guadalajara, Veracruz, Pachuca, several other ones as well. The more tour dates are to be announced, but we announced about 5 yesterday. You can find the dates on the Instagram, here on the YouTube community tab, and elsewhere. So really excited to get back to Mexico. Playing in Mexico is always a great time. It's a beautiful country. It has a lot of great, especially when it comes to live music. No one really, I think, supports live music better than Mexico. They're very goated when it comes to that aspect. So really excited to be back there, to be playing shows in September, and it's going to be dope. It's going to be great. Also, with the shows, Hota is going to be playing with me. Now, if you guys, I'm sure that some of you in the chat might know Hota, but if you don't know Hota, Hota is the lead singer of Whiplash. That's the band that we made the song Left on Red with. He's one of my best friends. He's from Mexico. We've gone on multiple tours together. And yeah, we had an interesting run-in with the cartel when we were down there in Mexico. If you guys want to hear that story, oh boy! Now, usually most people say that most people are scared of the cartel, but honestly, I had a great experience with them. They were very nice to me, and yes, talk to us, bro. Oh, blimey! All right, well, if you guys want to hear the story, so it was about 5 in the morning. We were driving from Monterey to Mexico City, and it was a cold morning, and yeah, they basically they kind of just flagged our bus down, and they opened the door. And at first, honestly, I thought they were law enforcement, but there was this guy with a machine gun. He's asking to see my ID. And really, this is kind of, I think this just like says a lot about like me, like what I do in these types of situations. I just smiled like this, like as big as I possibly could, because, I just thought, like as long as I show that I like this guy and that I'm on this guy's team as much as humanly possible, why would he reciprocate any negative energy to me? So I did, I smiled really big and goofy. And honestly, it worked. I just gave him my passport. He checked my passport. He checked everybody's passport, actually. And, let us go on with our day. He just saw another white van going down the same road that he was on. And so he had some questions. He wanted to know what, who the hell we were, where we were going, what we were doing. And yeah, it is what it is. I'd probably be doing the same thing. Sometimes I hang out with my machine gun in my van and ask people who they are and where they're going. That's just part of the deal. All right, guys, as you can see, I do have the makeup on today. I know I didn't do it as well as I usually do it, but I actually had a question for you guys regarding the makeup. Do you guys like the new makeup? Do you guys like the new look? Do you guys like the silver tears for the other band members? The black button-up shirts. It's almost like, basically trying to create this world around Love Ghost where, it's kind of like when you're a music artist, when you're listening to music, it's kind of like, what are you welcoming the listener into, right? Like there's certain artists that are basically saying, welcome to my bedroom. Here's like an intimate picture of me. There's certain artists that say, welcome to the pub. We're going to sing together. We're going to have fun. I feel like Love Ghost is almost, welcome to the ritual. Welcome to the funeral, right? So kind of that's why we're all dressed in, black button-up shirts, like what you would wear at a funeral or a ritual of some sort, and kind of tapping into this, otherworldly sort of universe. This kind of, is it supernatural? Is it not? Is it paranormal? Is it not? And that's one thing with the songs too, is I try to, like Love Ghost itself, some people ask me that. They ask me, is Love Ghost a band? Is it a solo project? The way that I've always viewed Love Ghost is a ghost, and no one knows when Love Ghost crossed the plane from the living into the dead, or if they're stuck in purgatory. But Love Ghost is a ghost that gets reincarnated again and again and tells different stories of lost souls throughout the earth. So sometimes that story is the story of an addict. Sometimes it's the story of a soldier that has PTSD. Sometimes it's the story of a heartbroken woman. Sometimes it's the story of Mozart, like how we did the Rock Me Amadeus cover and how we told that story. So that's kind of how I interpret the Love Ghost world and the Love Ghost universe, and I'm trying to amplify that more with the signature look. Hope you guys are liking it. Hope you guys are enjoying it. One thing that you love the mythology. Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. So really, I think that, one thing I don't really talk about that much is kind of the process of writing my music, right? Writing songs. It is because, every artist has a different process when it comes to writing songs. Every songwriter has a different process when it comes to writing songs. And I don't really think that one is correct or one is incorrect, but usually, I guess there's a few different methods that I use to write music. I'll just kind of list them down, kind of talk about them a little bit. I think it's interesting. If you're a musician yourself, you're a songwriter yourself, you might find it interesting as well. But the first thing that I do is I always write the music first. The music is what comes to me first, and then I find a melody that I really like, almost kind of like a solo, and I'll usually find that melody on my guitar or my piano, whatever it is, and then I write the poetry to fit to the music. I write the poetry to fit to the music, the poetry being the lyrics, of course. And one method that I really kind of rely on when it comes to writing music is my subconscious, is tapping into my subconscious. Now, there's a lot of artists that I admire that do this. Like, for instance, I'm going to tell a story about Salvador Dali and his process to making paintings. Now, Salvador Dali he would never paint a painting. He would never paint a painting until he was this close to falling asleep. He would purposefully give himself sleep deprivation. He would purposefully stay up for days until he got to this delirious state of mind. And really, it's kind of like, I feel like when you're in this delirious state of mind, you don't have as much, you're not overthinking things and you're letting things come to you naturally, which that subconscious part of your mind, I feel like, is actually far more creative than the conscious part of your mind. And this is psychology too. Okay. Freud and many different psychologists have talked about this. And that's when he would start painting. Like, actually, love him or hate him, Kanye West, I watched an interview with him where he was talking about his creative process, and he actually does something similar. He doesn't believe in REM sleep. He purposefully only takes naps throughout the day so his body never fully falls into REM sleep, so he can stay in that subconscious, are you dreaming, are you awake part of mind. And that's something that with writing lyrics and writing music, I try to tap into too. Like, there's actually a quote from Jack White. They ask him, how did you write this song? And he would say, I've never written a song in my life. I just let God into the room. I just let, whether that's God, the universe, however you want to look at it, it's basically essentially you're letting something else, whether that's tapping in your subconscious, the energy around you, just flow out of you naturally. And and how do you get to that space? Well, sometimes it's by sleep deprivation, sometimes it's by tapping into that subconscious part. So that's something that, honestly, that's something that I try to do. That's something that I try to do. Chat, how's it going? You guys still with me? Hope you're doing great today. One kind of, I think, like, interesting thing about everybody writes the music first, and I was so surprised by this. All the wonderful heartfelt lyrics come second, but it makes sense. Musicians feel the music first. Yeah, I'd say I try to meditate to try and tap into my subconscious mind. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Like, I'm big on transcendental meditation. Actually, I kind of have like a little ritual for myself that I set up in order to tap into that. Hola, Dominic, ¿cómo estás? Hola. And one thing about Love Ghost is I feel like Love Ghost has gone through many different iterations, but really the way that Love Ghost was first originally discovered was really, if anything, it was on SoundCloud. Love Ghost was definitely a part of SoundCloud culture. And, SoundCloud culture, it was something that you sort of it was a moment in time. You had to be there. This is in the late 2010s. Dyed hair, tattoos, piercings, blending of genres, emo trap. And, unfortunately, most of those guys that were huge at that time now aren't here anymore. Lil Peep, XXXTentacion, Juice WRLD. I actually got the chance to meet Juice WRLD once before he passed away. But SoundCloud culture and kind of, emo trap and SoundCloud, that's the world that Love Ghost originally came from. And of course, at this time I was still in high school, I was still a teenager, but shortly after, in the 2020s, when I became an adult, I honestly, like, I was a part of that. I was a part of that world. And that's when I was able to collaborate with Rico Nasty and Bally Baby and Kamiata and Original God, these different artists that came from the SoundCloud scene. And SoundCloud was honestly a place, I feel like, a really supportive place for artists to share their music, tap in with each other, network. And then, unfortunately, in my opinion, I just kind of feel like this emo trap world, this culture, at this point, doesn't well, I'm not going to say it doesn't exist, but I'm going to say that it's not as strong as it used to be. It's not as strong as it used to be. It's not there anymore, and I don't really necessarily know if anything replaced it either. I mean, I'd say that emo rock is more popular now in 2025 than it was, or 2026. I don't even know what year it is. Okay, like this is what this is what's going on with me. But yeah, so emo rock I'd say is more popular now than what it was 10 years ago, and I would say in a way that honestly traditional rap and drill and trap is more popular than what it was 10 years ago. But that blending of the two worlds that was so cool and so unique isn't as much there anymore. All right, I would like to shout out Charlotte with the super chat. Love you, Lisa. Stay back. Ha ha ha. Laughing emoji. Love you, Finn. Love you too, Charlotte. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate you. And yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you so much for that. But back to what I was saying about SoundCloud culture. And so yeah, I would say that Love Ghost was an emo trap SoundCloud project. Now I would say it's closer to a traditional emo grunge, but it's still very genre bending. It's still in that world. Still in that world. So, but it's like, and that's normal, right? That happens when in terms of music culture and specific genres coming and going. Like obviously this is before my time, but think about hair metal, right? 1980s hair metal was a it was a moment in time. And it came with a fashion, it came with a very specific sound, it came with a culture really around the art, right? It came with a culture around the art, and that's one thing that you really want to, I think, tap into as an artist. What is the culture around your art? What are your shows like? What are the visuals like? What are the lyrics about? Because culture really, I think, drives art to an extent. And 80s hair metal was a moment in time that existed for about 4 or 5 years, and then it was replaced by grunge. Overnight, everyone went from wearing spandex to wearing flannels, just like that. And you could argue that, and from my perspective, of what happened to emo trap and the SoundCloud movement was something similar. It was a moment in time. It was, you can find pictures of me on the internet with blue hair and pink hair, and I had all these piercings on my face. And I was thinking of putting them back in because I kind of like them in a way. I really wanted to tattoo my face. I didn't quite do that, but I'm still thinking about it one day. But yeah, and that was like I started getting tattooed actually pretty young. My first ever tattoo was when I was 17. I got tattooed by my girlfriend at the time because I was in love with her. And I guess when you're in love with people, you let them tattoo you. Or maybe I'm just mentally ill. But yeah, but yeah, I have over 30 tattoos. They all mean something to me. They all represent a different period of my life. And absolutely. Now, if it's all right with you guys, I would like to bring on a special guest. His name is Robert Kennedy. I'm going to call him right now. I just want to kind of talk about the different, different stories about what it's like being on tour with Love Ghost. So you guys can kind of get the, the behind the scenes, people come to the shows, but they don't know what is, what's going on behind the scenes. What's it like when you are, at a gas station at 2 a.m? What's it like actually someone that was in some of these stories, I can see them in the chat. Everyone shout out Alex, shout out the Riff Hero, shout out Lisa Whitfield, shout out Charlotte. I'm going to call Rob right now.
Yo.
Hey, Rob. How's it going? How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Yourself?
Doing great. All right. I'm going to show you guys to the chat so they can see you really quickly. Everyone say hi, Rob.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Everyone's happy to see you. So you won't be able to see
Thank
me.
you for having me.
Yeah, we're happy to have you, everyone. This is Rob. He's like my big brother. He's our tour manager. Everyone's saying hi, Rob. How's it going, Rob? We've gone on 2 tours together. Actually, the first tour was the Skinner Brothers tour, and the second tour was the headlining Love Ghost Anarchy and Ashes tour. And I'm just curious, like from your perspective, like when you first met Love Ghost, I think you actually you thought the entire band was from Mexico, right? Like tell me a little bit about that. Like, yeah.
Straight away, I thought everyone was from Mexico, apart from you. I thought you were from Sweden.
Nice.
So I was about to get all the Spanish out. I've been on Duolingo. But yeah, it turns out they're not Mexican. There's a melting pot of like all kinds of different backgrounds there, isn't there? Which is cool.
Yeah. Half the band's American, and then the other half the band is Mexican, and then tour manager's English. I mean, like it's the international Avengers. It's the international X-Men.
It really is. It's cool. It's a fun time every time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we first met in November of last year to do the Skinner Brothers tour, and it was for a lot of us, it was our first time in the UK, and honestly, we just fell in love with it. We fell in love with Manchester and really Scotland, particularly Glasgow and Leeds, all these different places. Like tell me a little bit. Obviously you're from England, you're from the UK. What do you think about like the UK music scene and growing up there and being a musician in the UK music scene? Like, tell me your story a little bit.
The UK music scene for me, it's a long time ago since I came onto it. I'm too old to say now, but it was really cool a long time ago. I think it's not as cool as it was. There's a lot of time like loads of people used to come to shows, no matter what band was on. You kind of get that a little bit now in the smaller towns. But yeah, people are accepting it, especially when you go over to Europe as well. Like the European side of things, I think it's cool for sure, man. But yeah, I had a lot of fun going up on the scene. Too many stories to talk about, usually involving alcohol.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's the thing about UK drinking culture is I feel like UK drinking culture is honestly, it's so much happier and so much more jolly than American drinking culture. Like American drinking culture is a bit depressing. You go to a bar by yourself, you don't talk to anyone, you're just trying to escape your wife or your home life. But I mean, I'm sure there's aspects of that too in parts of the UK as well. But the UK, I remember my first time in the UK, I went to a pub. Everyone is singing in unison, super jolly. And I just there's this great sense of kind of community at pubs. And it's really, it's quite fun. I mean, actually, and then speaking of the UK, me and you had a pretty interesting night in Manchester for the headlining Love Ghost tour, during the Anarchy and Ashes tour. You can find footage of it online if you guys are curious. But tell us a little bit about what happened in Manchester. You don't have to tell everything, but it was an interesting night. It was an interesting night. Yeah.
Manchester was definitely my fault.
Yeah.
I think we upset the venue a little bit, or should I say, I upset the venue, didn't I?
I mean, I think that, it's rock and roll, right? You need to, if you don't upset a few venues in your day, it is what it is.
You're doing something wrong. Yeah, I get you. I think when the story goes, it was the last day of tour. Me and Kyle, who was doing merch and helping me out, and it's always great guy, Kyle, one of my oldest friends. We decided to surprise you boys, didn't we?
Yeah, it was great. It was a great send-off.
So we made a load of pies to pie you on the stage. Got a load of pyro, didn't we? A load of party poppers. Got the fireworks out, and made an absolute mess of the stage. The worst bit about that, I think, for everybody involved, was the fact that the cream we used to pie you all with, we set up on plates in a really hot room by the time we got the stage in milk.
Yeah.
So he was chucking milk on the stage. The venue owner, he wasn't very happy, was he?
I mean, listen, who's going to get mad at a little milk? Okay, big deal, right? I mean,
that guy.
Yeah, apparently that guy is, but milk is what it is. It's like I love milk. I drink milk all the time. from cows and other animals. But shout out Vocal Citizen for the super chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you, everyone. Shout out Vocal Citizen. Please check out her channel. She does amazing reactions to Love Ghost, to the Skinner Brothers, to many different other acts. Shout out Vocal Citizen. We love Vocal Citizen over here. Another super chat. Thank you so much, Lisa Whitfield. Really appreciate all your support. Now, also during the Love Ghost tour, well, first of all, I want to say there were a lot of peaceful moments too, right? There was a lot of beautiful moments in the countryside of Germany and Austria, but there was a couple of, chaotic moments too, right? But, you can't have real rock and roll without a couple of near fist fights and out a couple of, rowdy stories too. And, one of those particular nights actually happened in Hamburg. Hamburg is a great city with a lot of music history. That's where the Beatles kind of got their first start. It's a little bit like, the UK version of Las Vegas, at least from my perspective. It's, but I really like it. Also, shout out to La Opera Noir for the super chat. Really appreciate you. So let's talk about the Hamburg incident. Now, we'll leave out the murders and things that we can't say on here, but we'll give you guys the basic rundown of what went down.
Hamburg was one of those nights, weren't it?
Yeah, one of those nights. One of those nights. Absolutely.
I mean, that tour in general, like that tour was a gorgeous tour. I love that tour. One of my favorites, to be honest. I've done a lot, but Hamburg, I think, definitely tops it. Just where do we start with Hamburg?
Right.
It was a normal day.
Yeah, it started out as a normal day. It quickly became not. I mean, it almost it felt like The Hangover or something. It was just one chaotic event after the next. But it was almost but in a way, it was sort of lighthearted. Nothing ever it was right at the breaking point, but nothing ever completely broke down.
That's
no,
the gorgeous thing about it.
No one went to prison. No one got beat up. It happened. It almost happened a few times, but I guess we can kind of maybe just say we'll start with so that morning we'd woken up in Berlin and we drove to Hamburg. How long is the drive from Berlin to Hamburg? 5 hours, 6 hours?
Not even that, really. I think it was 4 or 5. It was a steady drive.
Yeah.
Everyone was, we'd had a couple of days off in Berlin. It was pretty normal.
Yeah.
We get there.
We get to the venue.
Still been normal.
Still normal so far, and honestly, it was a pretty cool venue. They gave us dinner too. That's one amazing thing about Europe is they really care about artists in a way that other parts of the world don't. They give artists dinner, they give them an apartment. They really treat artists respectfully. So first, what was going on with the sound check? I remember there was something kind of strange at the sound check.
We load in at 3. Like you say, the guys looked after us really well, put a good spread on. And I think it was a day, I think we had 4 bands on that day. Is that right?
Yeah, we did,
It was a busy show, which for me as a TM, you're on a tight schedule. You want things to be, hitting the nail on the head. Every minute has to go right. We get there, we load in, we set the stage up, no sound guy to be seen. So we think, okay, we'll get ready. The sound guy turned up about an hour late. Is that right? Maybe a bit more?
Yeah, 2.
Maybe 2. Maybe 2. It was a long time. Mm-hmm. And then he goes to spend the next 90 minutes rewiring the entire fucking stage.
Yeah. So now at this point we're 3.5 hours behind schedule. So yeah.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, and then he plugged all your shit in the end, and he started to set the support bands, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? And it was like, I need to set everybody up. I'm like, come on, man, we need to sound check. Finally, sound checks. Probably not the best sound check of all time, but we're not worried at this point. I don't think. Maybe slightly. The doors get put back to literally 5 minutes after the first band go on, so we managed to get the first band on just about on time and catch up. Yeah, is that about right?
I'd say more or less. I mean, I remember there was a long line of people waiting out in the cold too before we started. And
then the doors were about an hour late. Yeah, which is not good.
And then something kind of interesting happened when I was talking with my buddy Kyle. Shout out Kyle at the merch desk. The merch desk was right next to the bar, and all of a sudden, we can't find the sound guy, and he's behind the bar reaching for the whiskey bottle, and the bartender is wrestling him away from the from the whiskey bottle. It's which is fine. I've had my moments with my whiskey bottles here and there. I mean, but it was pretty interesting. And then he's nowhere to be seen.
Was he not running off down the street just before doors?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody comes up to me, actually. I totally forgot about that bit. He's like, no one told me about that until later on. But someone came up to me and said, I've just seen the sound guy running down the road. I was like, that's not good. Now, luckily, the opening band had their own sound guy, and I just went up to him and was like, can you start without him? He's like, not really. I'm like, well, you're going to have to. So luckily he started, but this guy just gone AWOL.
Yeah, a little bit.
He got MIA.
And then, and
then the show starts.
Mm-hmm.
So we get through the show. It's going smooth enough. You guys go on stage. It didn't go that great from a sound perspective, did it? I think a couple of key points from that show. I remember me and you exchanging eye contact.
Yes, several times. Yeah, there was some feedback issues that had not been present at any other show on the tour. We'll just say that.
Yeah, basically, no other show on the tour. And no other point in the evening. I don't really think we'd heard it even in sound check. But it is happening. And you're looking at me as if to say, what the hell's happening? I'm looking at you, I don't know. So I'm now I go to the sound desk to see the sound guy who's smoking the biggest joint I've ever seen in my life. This thing was like a didgeridoo.
Nice.
The guy's eyes are nearly shut. And I was like, mate, can I swear on this?
Yeah, you can.
He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, I don't know, man. It's him. He's doing this, he's doing that wrong. I'm like, what do you mean he's doing what he does every night? I'm like, you need to sort this out. He didn't sort it out. It didn't go great. But you guys did a great job of plugging through it. It's the professionals that you are,
Yeah.
Got through the show. We're not very happy with the sound guy. I'm not very happy with him, but what can you do? We're kind of in this situation where, he's stoned out of his tits and, he can't do much more. I came up to see you, didn't I, Finn? And the first thing you said to me was, I was like, you okay, man? I knew the answer. It was not good. And he's like, I'm going to go and tell, can I do the accent? I'm going to go and tell that guy how the fuck to do his job.
Oh, God.
Is that what you said?
More or less, I might have had a couple of words to say. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm usually a nice guy, once you get to know me, but I have a couple of moments.
And for anyone in this chat that knows you, they will absolutely agree with what you said. I have never seen you upset, pissed off, angry ever. Like you were pissed off, but it was very politely pissed off. Okay. And I was like, right, you know what, dude, how about we go and have a beer first? And you're like, yeah, okay, let's do that. And then we're having the beer in the backstage room. You're like, okay, I want to go to the merch desk, right? And I was like, yeah, okay, let's go. I'm kind of like chaperoning you through, making sure that you don't like kick anyone's head in. And then there was what I can only describe as a coming together between you and the sound guy. And I was like, this is not good. And I don't know how it started, but then he was like, what the hell was that, man?
Yeah.
Like trying to blame you again. It makes like to physically restrain you and drag you to the merch desk before you quite rightly killed him. Like, this is all this guy's fault. He's so high. All you could see throughout the show was him smoking this big booner. Right?
Yeah,
you're ready to kill the guy.
Yeah, my name's Finnegan, so I got some of that, Irish anger in me here, every now and again. But it was playful. But then the funny part is that wasn't even the craziest part of the night. So you would think, usually a near fist fight is when it is the highlight. But this was actually the coin toss of the soccer match. This was the coin flip of the football match. It was just getting going. So what happened next? What happened in our night out in Hamburg?
So the night out, it went at first. We're having a few beers, and we were in we were upstairs, weren't we? In the we had like a flat above the venue, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend Daniel Alcala, I don't know if he's in the chat. He'd gone out for a drink with one of his friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I've important for later on. I've told him to put his location on because he wasn't with us. So we go for a couple of beers, don't we? It's quite a good night at this point. Everyone's in good spirits. Alex is in particular good spirits, isn't he? Did he not shout the barmaid up in the pub we were in, which is totally out of
There was this gorgeous bartender that he really liked him. I think the bartender approached him, actually, if I remember it correctly. Riff Hero, also known as the Lady Hero.
That's it. He's in the chat right now.
He is. Yes, he is.
Oh, your moment's coming, son. So we then get a phone call, don't we, from Daniel's friend,
mm-hmm.
Saying Daniel's really drunk. He can't stand up. You're gonna have to come and get him. Luckily, we've got his location on. So I round up some troops. Me, Theo, and the sprinter as he is, Danny DeVilla.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the bar where Danny's drinking to pick him up. This is the best bit, but not even the best bit. But I love this part because Danny doesn't walk faster than a gentle, like he's got a gentle pace, hasn't he? He doesn't walk.
Yeah, he doesn't walk faster than a turtle on heroin. He just he does what he does. He does what he does.
So me and Theo were trying to run, and Danny's just like skipping sideways, like, "Hey guys, why are we running?" Like, because our friend's like dying. We found Danny. He was fine. Danny was absolutely fine. He was just he was drunk, wasn't he? But he was on.
Yeah, but he was fine. He was fine. Yeah.
Little side quest. We saved Danny.
Mm-hmm.
And Danny's alive to tell the tale. So we get back. Obviously, Alex is like, yeah, like, I'm a ladies' man now. So we decide. Well, you just explained Hamburg is a little bit like the Vegas of Europe. Similar. It's not the exact same, is it? But it's like that kind of vibe. It's like if you're going to Hamburg, you're gonna have a crazy time.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely.
So Hamburg has it's got the biggest red light district in Europe. So that's all kinds of things, including sex shows, strip clubs, and we thought
burlesque,
burlesque nights, all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. We thought when in Rome, let's go to a strip bar, man. And we've also got Sev with us at this point. We have a giant group with us. There's the band, there's Trip Kid, there is Trip Kid's girlfriend / manager, there's Seb, there's Seb's wife, I'd say there's about 20 of us, guys and girls from everywhere around the world. It's a squad. It's a fun night. But yeah, we're walking down the street. We get approached by it's kind of like they're a bit of like street hustlers, right? They kind of say like, "Oh, come to this club, whatever it may be." And this guy kind of like tells us to go inside this club, which I guess did happen to be a strip club. But what happened in there, man? I mean, it's a dingy place, as you can imagine. Anyone listening can imagine. It's not the classiest of venues. So we sit down, like, let's get a drink, experience the strip club, and then get out of here. We sit down, didn't we? And one of the staff members, one of the ladies came over. She tried to grab you at first. Didn't she?
She tried to grab me at first, and she had a very aggressive demeanor. She was walking very forcefully. She was even a bit muscular. You could say she was intimidating. She at first I thought she was trying to fight me because of the way that she pointed at me and her intimidating physique. And I wasn't into any of it, so I immediately gave her the no. But what happened then?
You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And then she grabbed our man who was on form tonight, didn't she? Alex Martinez, Riff Hero. She grabbed him up, put him on the chair in front of all of us. I knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. We didn't know this was coming. What I can only describe as the most aggressive lap dance I have ever seen. Like, I'm pretty certain that at one point she had her legs like wrapped around his neck and was like upside down, like trying to choke him out.
Yeah. I mean, I think he was injured in the process.
I think he was. I mean, I think, to be honest with you, I think he could have pressed charges for that.
Yeah. This was an assault. This was, I don't even know if he even really.
Like he's trying to grab hold of her with his hands, but not like to touch her up. He's trying to get her off him. Like, I think she was hurting him. I had to go and put his hands down because like his body. He's giving it this, isn't he? Like trying to get us all to shout and cheer for him. Like, can you remember that? That so funny. She gives him a slap dance, which is like an assault, effectively, and then ushers him over to the bar afterwards to say, "You need to give me a tip." I knew what was going to happen. I tried to like fight my way to him. It was too late. He'd already tapped his card, hadn't he? What did he pay? He told us €50 for this aggressive lap dance.
Yeah, you could say more or less. Yeah,
it turned out to be 80.
Yeah, and who knows? It might have been 800. He's just being trying to be nice about it. But yeah, it was whatever it was quite expensive, and
quite an expensive, quite a lot of money to go get yourself beat up by a lady in not many clothes. But he learned that lesson, didn't he? And the next day, just to top it all off, so we kind of found our way home somehow, didn't we? I think everyone got lost on the way home, which is about right for a night out in Hamburg.
Yeah.
He's cleaning his teeth and he's like, "Rob, man, I've got a cut on my face. I wasn't there before."
Yep.
This girl, she's like, not only assaulted him, but left visible damage because she's like caught him with a nipple ring mid lap dance. Like, now the guy's got a bowel wound.
Yeah, he has a battle wound.
That was absolutely class. That is a story about Alex paid €80 to be assaulted in Hamburg.
I believe, yeah, he's actually in the chat. As far as I know, that might have been, I think that was his first experience at a strip club. Maybe first and the last when it's something like that, something that crazy. But yeah.
It was a great night. Part of a great tour with you guys. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great. Had a great time. All right. Well, thank you so much, Rob, for hopping on the show. We had a great time with you. Any last words you want to say to the chat before I end this thing in a little bit?
Thank you for having me. Finn did show me a little sneaky preview of some of his music last week, didn't you, Finn?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It sounds fucking great. You guys, honestly, you're gonna love it. I can't wait to hear the finished product, man.
Thank you so much, Rob. Love you very much, and I will talk to you very soon. Have a great rest of your night over there and over there.
Will do. Cheers, buddy. See you soon.
See you soon.
You, man.
Peace.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. That was fun. Everybody. Hope you enjoyed our stories of the wild Hamburg night. It was, that's kind of what like a lot of life on tour is, one interesting moment after the next, and a lot of gas stations. You hang out at a lot of gas stations. Truckers and musicians are bonded in that way. Truckers and musicians are absolutely bonded. Rob is amazing. Yes, he is. We love Rob very much. Now, as far as the music goes, yes, I actually, as some of you may know, I'm working on an acoustic album right now. I'm working on an acoustic album, and it's pretty close to being mixed actually, and I'm going to be making a short film for the acoustic album as well. Really excited. It's going to be coming out in the fall. Can't wait for you guys to support this. There's going to be merch for it too. Really excited to let you guys into the universe. How about I show you guys maybe like a sneak peek of one of the songs? I'm gonna send it to this computer right now, and I think it's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be a great time. Just let me airdrop it. You guys might have heard that. All right. Cool. I'm just pulling it up. 1 second. Okay, I really got to bounce. Can't pre-hear it. All good. Thank you so much, Vocal Citizen, for hopping on the chat. I'm gonna mute. Let me know in chat when it stops playing, pretty please. Well, actually, if that's the way that I'm seeing a few people kind of say that, if you guys would prefer, I could wait to give you a sneak peek if you would prefer that. What's your inspiration on this? Really, it's really just of a psychopath in love. That's kind of, that's what it is. It's about a psychopath vampire in love for the first time, kind of what that does to his heart. And yeah, but if you want to wait until it's mixed, if you want to wait until you react to it, you can come back in 5 or 6 minutes when I'm ending the stream. I'm sure people will let you know, but here I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to play part of this song. All right. So I hope you guys can hear this. Let me know. I'm going to turn up the volume a little bit before I do this. So this song is a song called "Am I Evil?" Acoustic guitar. And yeah, let's check it out. Let's check it out, guys. Let me know what you think. It's not mixed. It's not done yet. So you're really kind of getting the behind the scenes process. Am I evil? Am I bad? I don't appreciate what I have. Maybe if I had it all, I'd let it fall right through my hands. Pretty eyes in body bags, the sweetest lies decay so fast. Every love I've ever had turns to dust that I can't get back. If you think that I'm the worst you'll meet, then you haven't seen the worst of me. You wanted someone who would never leave, so I'll make sure that you never can. If devotion's just a word to you, then I'll show you what it means when it's finally gone. You throw love around like it's true, I'll show you what it means when it's actually gone. You call it love, I call it hate. Every heartbeat never lasts. You make me wanna kill a stranger just so I can feel again. If you think that I'm the worst you'll meet, then you guys, let me know what you guys think in the chat. If you guys like the song, if you want me to play the rest of it. I think that I want to play the rest of it, so I'm going to. But yeah, let me know. So good. Thank you so much. This is dope. Solid. Loving it. Dope, Finn. Fire as F. I'm so grateful you guys like it. I'll finish up the song right now. I haven't seen the worst of me. You wanted someone who would never leave, so I'll make sure that you never can. If devotion's just a word to you, then I'll show you what it means when it's finally gone. You throw love around like it's true, I'll show you what it means when it's actually gone. All right, guys. So that was a sneak peek of one of the songs from the album. I hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments. It's a, it's a love song, but from the perspective of a psychopath. I love the eerie sounding music. Thank you. I love the strings. Whoa, this is what I need right now. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you. And yeah, it's still a work in progress. Still working on it. But I'm glad to give you guys a little taste. I mean, I think that modern dating right now is cooked. Okay, like it's just it's rough out there. Like I've had I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but I just really think that my generation, particularly, is having a very hard time making connections with people, making love with people. I mean, that's one of the reasons why now, looks maxing is so popular and all that, just because they, yeah, it's fried. Yeah, exactly. It's completely fried. But it is what it is. In the meantime, we might not be able to find love in this generation, but we can write music about not being able to find love. So there you go. You can't win them all, but you can win some. So, all right, guys, it has been a great night with you all. I really appreciate you guys sticking around. I know, yeah, this has been an hour. This has been a great time. I would in a little bit, I'm about to be going to the Warp Tour. I might be live streaming on TikTok or Instagram there today. So if you want to see part of the festival, if you want to see some of the acts, I know that my friend Blanco is playing. We have a song together called Veneno. If you would like to check it out, we also made a music video for it when I was living in Mexico. Super cool. Really appreciate you all. Take care. Have a great night. I'll be back. I'm back every Saturday. Honestly, if this keeps on going the way that it's going, and you guys are just this supportive and amazing, I might start doing this multiple days a week. But for now, it is just going to be on these Saturdays right here. But yeah, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love you guys. Take care. Shout out Broken Vision, Living Serenity. Have a great rest of your night, rest of your Saturday or your day. And yeah, have a good one. And take care. See you all next week.